Welcome back. Have you had a chance to use what you learned from the last module? Have you observed the communication process in action? Are you looking at it in a different way? Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you get to know a company before you interview for a job? Do you get to know your customer before you lease an apartment to them? Do you get to know your team before you run a meeting? Do you know what stress your boss is under before you ask for a raise? Do you know who you are speaking with? The first step in communication is knowing your audience, no matter if it's a one-on-one meeting or if you're speaking to a group of people in an informal or more formal setting. Your first step in the process is getting to know to whom you are speaking. People. You need to learn all about people. Think about your everyday life. When you deal with customers or clients, how do you get to know them? Do you have a series of questions you ask? Do you Google them? If you're a manager and lead a team, how do you get to know your team members? Take a minute, take out a notebook, and put me on pause. No worries, I can wait. Jot down all the ways you currently get to know your audience. Okay, we're back. Look at the slide and then compare them to your notes. Do you have any of these questions on your list? What are they like? Not just data. What does their life look like? What is a typical day in the life? Why are they here? Why are they listening to you? Were they forced to come to the meeting? Are they clients interested in the service or product you have? What do they think they're going to get? What keeps them up at night? Do you know their pain points? Can you empathize with them? How can you solve their problem? What's in it for them? How are you going to solve their problem? What do you want them to do? Do you have a call to action? Do you need them to do something, buy your service or product, listen to a direction, take an action? How can you reach them? This is where emotional intelligence, Myers-Briggs, or just knowing pieces of how your audience learn can help. If your client is busy and only has 15 minutes, are you going to rent out a space and do an elaborate presentation? If your team is worried or anxious, are you going to start with, I have some good news and bad news? If you have a meeting at the end of the day, you may not want to have a 4-page agenda, that kind of thing. How might they resist? Super important. What will keep them from adopting your message and carrying out your call to action? So take the time to ask the right questions and do the research in order to get to know your audience. Keep your list of questions in a template, and every time you have to communicate with someone else, jot down the answers and craft your message with the information in mind. I guarantee it will increase the amount of message your audience will actually hear and understand. Remember, you are an important person. You have an important message to convey. Why wouldn't you spend a small amount of time to ensure your audience hears you? It also helps alleviate a good portion of speaking anxiety. Here's your homework. Think about your day. What message do you need to deliver? Is it as simple as asking a colleague for a report? Do you have a meeting with a potential client? Who do you need to talk to? Is it a client, your boss, your team, your family? Take the time to use the questions on your list or the list in this module and get to know your person a little better. Does it make the message you need to convey a little easier to craft? Send me your comments and questions in the comments field.